make this happen? How do I get rid of this? People, there's technical crap happening here. I don't know what to do about it. Man. Alright, let's see. Put this down here. There we go. Perfecto. I have it down to science. If by science you mean I have no idea what I'm doing, then that's science, baby. Alright. Move this out of the way a little bit here, because we are live. I want you to see me, but I also you see my microphone, huh? How cool is this? I need to tighten all these things up a bit. Okay, folks. Welcome. I'm trying to figure out how to do this right now. Let's try something new. Boom. Get out of that. Boom. Let's see if my posts are coming out, y'all. So if you guys are seeing my post, if you're seeing this, you may have gotten my post that said, "Hey, I'm going to be on today at 9 a.m., which I do every Tuesday and every Thursday. So yeah, here I am. And today I'm coming at you live from my makeshift studio that I put together. And it's supposed to, okay, that's supposed to have posted like right now. Why is it not posting? Something is up with the Hootsuites. Just saying. Okay. Let's see. Live. Well, hold on a second. Something's weird here. That's right. See, you're here with me, so I can do some housekeeping chores and figure out how to get people, notified that I'm on right now, which I am, because it is streaming. It says so right there. No, it doesn't. Why is it saying it's not doing it? There you go. See? You're here. So, yes, I am streaming. Why is it saying there's no session? It's not saying that I'm streaming. These don't make no sense, man. Hey, Red Nova Tyrant. Now, I am in my my voiceover booth here in the closet. And it's we moved in here a little while ago, so I throw these up on the walls and start talking. And it works really well, so... As you can attest to, the microphone is much better than it was the other night. Let's see. What is happening here? So, there we go. It's up. Let's see. I'm going to share this with... Nope, I don't want to do that. Well, yeah, I do. Hold on a second. I'm going to share with my other page. Bam. I got a few of them. Post. Dude. Got it going on. Sharing with a group. With a group, y'all. With a group, sharing with unlocked. Going live right now. All right, cool. We're going to chit-chat for a little while. I wrote some ideas down last night. Man. You ever had one of those nights where you just can't sleep? I have those from time to time. And last night was one of them because it was windy. And there's a tree that is right outside the wall. Right outside her head, and it's just going... And I was like, I didn't know what it was, so it woke me up, and I'm like, wait a minute. What's happening? And so I took a look, and I was like, oh, it's the trees. Because, see, I thought it was like a ninja raccoon. And, he's up on a wall going... And he wanted in. And, our window was open, so I was like, I got to close that window, because, you don't want ninja raccoons in there stabbing you in the eyeballs and stuff, because those little bastards are rough. Anyway, so, hopefully the video will keep going here. It just froze on me a bit, but I think we're in pretty good shape. But we'll see. I mean, as long as the sound is good, I got my microphone right here. This is where I do all of my auditions, all of the gigs that I get that I can do from home. This is where they happen. Now, this is not the place. I mean, I've only been here for about 9 months. I had another setup in our apartment. I used to live in Koreatown, near downtown Los Angeles. I used to call it Blade Runner, and everything's like in Korean, and it was interesting. And I didn't even really like Korean food that much. I mean, I'm okay with it, but it's not like, I gotta have some of that. I can go for some kimchi from time to time. And of course the bulgogi and galbi, the one where they cook all that meat right at your table. That's pretty tasty. And what's all those sauces? The gochujang, I don't know. Pretty good stuff, not bad overall. But anyway, so I had this great closet. It was pretty big. And it was like right in the middle of the apartment. So we had to go, in. We could go in through there or around or whatever. It was a really incredible apartment. The building was built in 1930. So it was really pretty amazing and really sturdy. But that was the second one because I moved to that apartment in 2005. I moved to the apartment on the 8th floor, which I'll tell this story when I talk about a dating and relationships. But I was up in a studio unit. It was a pretty big studio. It was like 800 square feet, so it was nice size. And my windows were facing west. So I was up on the 8th floor, downtown LA, facing west, unobstructed view, amazing sunsets for 7 or 8 years I was there. And then I moved to a bigger apartment when Kim came into my life, and we moved down to the bigger apartment. And which is what you do when you have a significant other in your life. You trade up. So that's exactly what I did. And it's been awesome ever since with her. I love her. She is amazing. If you have not begun to follow her, you must check her out at crownyourself.com. She is amazing. She's a hell of a coach. So a lot of you guys may know her from some of my other podcasts. You may be on this stream. She was here. Well, you saw her last Sunday, and she popped in for a second, and we did together. We did a stream together the Sunday before that, and that was live from Catalina. So very cool. So today I'm going to be talking about viewpoints and how you can use that to your advantage to change things, and it's going to get pretty deep on this one. So I think you're going to like it a lot. And for any of you that are watching in the chat streams as people come in, if we get a troll or two, you're welcome to block them. I don't know how to make you a mod, but we'll talk like Red Nova. You're with me. You've been here for a while, so you see it. Jim Ricardo, sup, baby? Excellent. Thanks for joining us. So again, for a while, I'm going to keep at the beginning. I'm going to keep telling you guys, kind of what this is as we grow, because what I'm doing is I see that there is a dearth of personal growth and self-help in the video game world, in the animation, anime, all that, in the nerd kingdom, you might say. There's really nobody doing that sort of thing, and that's my specialty. I can do live speeches, I can do trainings. I'm certified in NLP, I'm certified in bank code, personality. I've trained a little bit with Brendan Burchard, I've trained with some with Tony Robbins people, so I've got the background. Plus, I wrote a book called Food Game, A Man's Ultimate Recipe for Dating Success, and I've been in front of thousands of people over the course of the last 14 years talking about dating and relationships. So I know what I'm talking about, guys. And I think that this community could use some of that. And there's a lot of people that are like going, oh, I don't want any of that sort of thing. That's just crazy stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's about billions and billions of business people that would beg to differ with you. They spend billions of dollars every year on personal growth and self-help books and training and courses. I mean, you go to like a 4-day with Tony Robbins, you're dropping $2,000 to $5,000. You go other things. I know people that are in $100,000 mastermind groups. So I mean, there's a lot going on, and it is an ongoing process. So it's not something that you can listen to a little podcast for a minute and then go, oh, I'm great, I'm good, my life is fine. No, there's a lot of tweaks that go on, and you have to do it every day. And I know this because I do it every day. I have to work on myself every freaking day. Because am I where I want to be? No, not yet. I am not at the top of the game that I want to be at. But can I share things with you guys? Absolutely. As some of our coaches have said, I said, look, there are always going to be people in front of you. There are always going to be people behind you, or, ahead of you, behind you, whatever. And all those people that are behind you, you can teach them. You can help them. And the people in front of you, you can learn from them and let them teach you. And that's how you go through life. So we're going to talk about that viewpoint and a whole lot of other viewpoints today, how to really, really figure it all out and change the way you look at things. So let me pop over here for a second. I think give me a little bit more space here. How's that? So the camera kind of throws me off here. So now I'm over on this side and a little bit better. Cool. I'm wearing my coach shirt today. It's my red coach. Come on! Move that ball down the field, boys! You guys can do it! What are you, bunch of sissies? That kind of thing. That's my coach voice there. That's one of my many coach voices, just so you know. And that's the other thing is I get to do this stuff with a lot of crazy voices. That's my tagline. I talk goofy for a living, seriously, because I do. Oh, and for some of you anime fans, so Ava 4 is coming out. They've set a time in June, so I know nothing. So if you're on my email list, you got my post. But if you're not on my email list, please go to spikespencer.com, and under voiceover tab, there's a thing for fan club. Just go ahead and pop over there and sign on to that, and you'll be on my mailing list. So which is cool. I think I'll get a another, like the buttons that are down below on this thing. I'm going to add some more buttons down there. So one will be fan club, sign up for the emails, and one is going to be like my Facebook and my, whatever. Because my Instagram is really pretty much run by Kim. I don't know how to do anything on Instagram. I'm just not good at that yet. But I do want to go with Instagram Live. I'd like to take some of these and pop them on Instagram Live. I think that would be cool. At least cut them down a bit so it's like, a 10-minute part of what I'm talking about. When I talk about a certain subject, take 10 minutes, stick it on Instagram TV, and that way people can watch it and have it, closed captioned at the bottom, subtitle, all that stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that'll work. Let me get a little more angle here so you can see my hair. I want to get my hair in there. There we go. Sorry about the coughing every now and then, guys. I was sick over the Catalina whenever, like last week, but it's that thing that people have that just kind of sticks with you for like weeks, and it's like I inhaled some breadcrumbs, and so they're just kind of sitting on my lung, and I'm like, so working on that. We'll get that out of there. Hey, while you're here, I might even cough up a lung for you. How about that? Or I'll cough so hard my front tooth will pop out because it's fake. And it has actually popped out during some sessions. That's a little behind-the-scenes action there. So it was funny because, so my tooth came out. It's this one right here. And I had it removed because the root had gone bad and everything, so they had to pull that out, and that hurt. I'm just going to tell you. So then they put all this junk up there, and so I've got to wait, and now, like probably sometime this month, or next month, because it's not January yet, I will get the anchor drilled up in there, and then that's got to sit for another 4 months. So I've got this fake tooth that I've been voice acting with for 5 months now, maybe more, and then it's going to be another 4 or 5 months, and then I'll get my actual tooth, and I'll be able to chew like an actual human being, because I have to take this tooth out to eat, and it's like, it's crazy. Unless it's chicken wings, and I can take that little bone and just put it right through my tooth. It's done. Pretty good, Anyway, you might hear an errant whistle from time to time. So be like I'm talking about this, fellas. Yes, sir. January in Adelaide. Yeah, Adelaide, one of my favorite cities on the planet. Looking forward to coming back down there, guys. I love me some Adelaide. AvCon is one of my favorite cons of all time. So, very cool. All right, well, listen, guys, so it's about time for me to start my actual podcast. I'm still trying to figure out whether to call it cheat codes, because I think cheat codes for video game, I think that's cool. It's kind of an inside thing there. I was thinking about game on because of video gaming, but I'm not really a gamer per se, so I don't want people to think I am. But then again, I do want gamers, video gamers, and animation and anime. I don't want it just anime, but I think cheat codes is pretty good. But then again, it's also Spike Spencer Speaks, so I don't know. But let's see, oh yeah, old man voices, sure, they work. I actually auditioned for Stephanie Sheh. I auditioned for 2 roles, and both of them had teeth out. And I was like, oh, I got this. Boop, popped it out, and was like, and I didn't get it. I don't understand why. Yeah. All right, then. Let's get going, guys. Now, we're going to talk about Viewpoint, and I'm going to go over that with you in just a second. So let's start the podcast right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast. I am Spike Spencer, and I am giving you the cheat codes to win at the video game of life. So, today I wanted to talk about viewpoints, and there's a lot that goes into viewpoints, and I'm going to cover many aspects of it, because one of my favorite sayings, I believe it was Wayne Dyer, and he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, let that kind of swirl around in your old cranium there for a second and think about that, because a viewpoint is different from no matter which way you're looking at it. You have your viewpoint, somebody else has their viewpoint. It doesn't matter what subject you're talking about. You know, did you ever play that old game? I think it was called Telephone, where you'd have, like at a party when you were kids, and they had to have like 5 people or 10 people in a line, and somebody would tell somebody at the back of the line, they'd tell them, like, 2 sentences, like, the train is blue and it's coming down the track for you. And then they would tell it to the next person, whisper it in their ear, and the next person, the next person, the next person, the next person. And by the time it got to the first person in that line, the train had changed color. It was flying down the track. It was, it was a car. It was something completely different from what was said at the very, very beginning. 2 simple statements. Try it yourself at a party next time. I don't know, it's a party, whatever. But what you do is you see how everybody has input that differs. And what they hear, literally what they hear, is different from what is being said. I'll get into that a little bit deeper in a second, but you have to be aware that whenever you get any information from any source, anywhere, it's gone through a lot of filters. So always give everything you hear a second listen, and just take that moment to really let it sink in and go, is this true? Maybe. Let's see. And I'm guilty of this too. I hear things all the time, especially living in Hollywood, well, Burbank. But you hear things about actors, you hear things about projects, so you hear about all sorts of things, and you kind of take it on faith. Well, how many things are you taking on faith that somebody told you, a friend told you? Oh, Tom Cruise did all his own flying in Top Gun 2. I hear that. I don't know. Is it true? I haven't researched it. I really don't have time. It looks pretty freaking cool, though, guys, by the way. So let me tell you why you're hearing things differently than what other people are saying. There's several different layers of it, but I'm going to give you one very simple. In neurolinguistic programming, NLP, one of the tenets is you have so much information, so many bits of information coming into your brain per day or per second, let's say. I forget the numbers, so I do apologize. If you guys are academic and you're kind of watching what I'm saying, say, that's not correct. Well, it may not be exactly correct, but the concept is correct. You can only factor in about 143 bits of information per second, I believe that is. It's somewhere around there, 134, 143, something like that. And we are being bombarded by like 11 million bits of data per second. Now let that sink in for a second. I mean, that is a lot of data. So what that means is you have to filter. So you will discard, you distort, you are going to put things where they need to be in your realm of thinking based on your judgments. Your judgments are different from somebody else's judgments. Therefore, viewpoints are different. Exact same thing, different viewpoints. Remember that thing that was happening on, I think it was something about, is the dress blue or is the dress green or whatever, something like that on Facebook. And everybody's like, no, this dress is this color, this dress is that color. People saw it differently. And they were all correct because they saw it from their perspective. And in their perspective, that's exactly how they saw it. That's what's happening daily. So what I want to get to is that you have the power to change your viewpoint to make it stronger for you. All right? So there's the basis of the viewpoint is that we all have our own filters. So I want to get to the point where you filter information that makes you stronger. So a lot of the things that you're saying to yourself, your self-talk, is self-defeating. They're called stories. You're telling yourself stories, and the stories are not true. So basically you're telling yourself lies, but that's a whole other podcast. What you're telling yourself is sometimes a snap judgment, or also known as a reaction. Now, when you react to something, there's different levels of why you're reacting. If it's dangerous to you, if it's a problem, then yes, you're going to react in one way. You're going to react, you burn yourself on a hot stove. You're going to react, wow, you're going to throw that hand away, right? You're going to, get away from me. That happens because it's automatic. Somebody does something to you, cuts you off in traffic, and you react. Well, how are you going to react? You're going to, rah, damn you, whatever. How are you going to react from that standpoint? That is a reaction. Depending on where you are internally, that's going to dictate how you react externally, unless it's a fight or flight mechanism. Fight or flight mechanism, tiger coming at you, run. I mean, that's kind of, normal. Although, actually, it probably would not be a good thing. You actually want to kick the lion in the head thing. I learned this from a tiger trainer or something. It's weird. Anyway, don't do that. If a lion comes at you, don't say that, Spike said kick him in the head. Now I have one leg. Oh, look, one sock too many. So the point I'm saying is you have the power to change your viewpoint. There is a tenet that says anything has meaning, and that meaning is only the meaning we give it. So think about it this way. For example, I don't know why this came into me last night. It came into my head. It said, Catholics and Protestants, when the new Pope is found, they have a thing where they burn the papers or something like that. And when a certain color smoke, I think it's a gray smoke, means, yes, we've all agreed who the new Pope is. If it's a black smoke, it's like, nope, we're still not sure. We don't know. And people, thousands, millions of people will sit around and look and watch like they're watching the freaking Super Bowl. They're like, we got to see. And I'm like, that is one viewpoint. And it's a valid viewpoint. I'm not saying it's not a valid viewpoint, but it is a viewpoint that I don't share. So I'm like, that smoke could be pink, polka dotted, argyle, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't affect my life. So therefore, the meaning of that smoke is, oh, that's quaint, that's nice, that's cool. But the meaning to billions of Catholics is very important. So you can also change your viewpoint on the views that you hold right now. And that's called a reframe. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, basically. This is where it takes work. This is where you have to be aware of who you are and where you are in your mental awareness and acuteness, because this is some hard work when you look at something and you want to react, and we all do, and we're angry, we're hurt. Some people hold and carry hurt and anger around for years, all their life. I know. And my story, some of you guys know, I had a horrible divorce and a bankruptcy. I lost everything in 2005. Does it still affect me? Somewhat, sometimes. I will totally admit that. I find little tweaks in there. I've done a lot of work to move on past that. So I'm really great in an amazing relationship. I got a beautiful baby boy, and I'm moving forward in my businesses. But there are things that are holding me back from certain successes that I know I could have. Now, I could just be angry about it and say, oh no, I'm terrible. I'm never going to make this. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to blah, 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 blah. Well, if I'm going from that viewpoint, if I'm stating those words, I'm telling my I'm telling my subconscious mind to deliver those things to me. And you'll hear me talk about the subconscious mind a lot, or unconscious mind. They're both the same. If you tell your unconscious mind, I'm never going to be good at that, your unconscious mind is going to say, okay, you got it. And you're never going to be good at it. You say, I am good at this. Your subconscious mind goes, okay, you're good at that. And it's going to utilize the reticular activating system, which is going to show you what you want. See, these 11 million bits of data that I told you that are coming in like every second or maybe every day, I don't know. It's a crap ton. It's a pant load, a butt load, or something else. A something ton. I'm not going to use naughty words on this, but I totally could. It's my podcast. I can do what I want. So all of those bits that are coming in to your brain, they are going into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind knows and remembers every single thing that happens in your life. Everything that's happened in your life, all the way down to birth. And some people say even before then. And that's actually, quantum physics is actually proving that to be correct, that our cells have memory. That's a crazy thing. It's awesome stuff. So look into quantum physics. But it'll change the way you look at things, because your energy, when you change your viewpoint, then you change your energy. And your energy changes a frequency. I know it's going off into woo-woo land, but guess what? Woo-woo is being backed by science now. And this can be some of the hardest work you'll ever do. This is the deep, deep inner work that we get into whenever I train with you, whenever I work with you, whenever I coach you, and sit you down. I'm like, we're going to go in and we're going to rearrange some crap in there that is messing you up. And what I want to say is, if you take the helm, you are in charge of your viewpoint. A wonderful book. I mean, it's a hard book to read, but it's a great book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, Dr. Viktor Frankl. He was in the Nazi concentration camps, and he was a doctor, and so he was surviving, and he was treating patients, and he said, by their viewpoint, by their mindset, by what they were thinking and how they were being, he could tell you who was going to live and who was going to die. It's a tough book, but I highly recommend it. It's really good for everyone. And when you change the way you look at something, remember, the thing you look at changes. Now, there's something on a quantum level that makes that absolutely true. Now, for us that are working and learning and becoming better manifestors of things, have you ever said, hey, this is going to happen, and you just knew it, and it happened? And it could even be something very, very simple, like I manifest a parking space, always. I'm in Los Angeles, people. I say, we're going somewhere. I say, we have a parking space. We've got it. It's waiting for us. We're ready to go. Now, sometimes I may have to go around the block a couple of times, but boom, somebody pops right out, right in front of where we want to go. Every stinking time. Why? Because I believe it, and I manifest that. I know, sounds crazy, but you know what? That's how it works. As a matter of fact, if you know who Tony Robbins is, he's pretty much the top personal growth man in the world. And if you, on Netflix, it's I Am Not Your Guru. It's a great, great show. They went behind the scenes at one of his big events, which actually Kim is going to in January, in a couple weeks. And we trained, like I said, we trained with one of his vice presidents of marketing for 20 years. And he was telling us a story. Excuse me. He was telling us a story about when Tony Robbins was first starting out. He, a friend of his is one of Tony's closest friends. And he said back at the time, he was living in a rundown little apartment, I think in Santa Monica or Venice. And he had a Volkswagen Bug, a little Beetle, right? Now you can imagine, this guy's like 9 feet freaking tall, and he's like cramped up in this Beetle, and him and his friend are driving up to Santa Barbara where he's going to speak and something. And the whole way, he said he was like going, I am excellent. I have it. I am a winner. Ah! And he's just like really insane. He's like, the guy's like, this guy is nuts. He goes, this is how you do it, man. He's like, yeah. And he was just really pumped up. And look at him now. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. He's right. And it can be difficult, especially when things are going wrong. I've had a lot of times in my life when things are really, really rough, and I had to change my viewpoint. I have the power to do that. You are the thinker. You are the man. You are at the helm. You got it. Now, what are you going to do with it? So let me give you some tips here. Have you ever gone on a trip? You go on a vacation. Now, you've got problems at home. Something's going on. Whatever the problems are, they don't go away. They stay there. But you go on vacation. You go, like I did, to Catalina for a couple of days. You go for a week, let's say. During that week, your viewpoint shifts, and you'll let a lot of things slide. You're like, I got bills to pay. Well, I'll pay some late fees. You got this and that. Whereas back home, if you're thinking about the bills, you might worry for like 3 days. How am I going to pay this bill because there's a late fee? Oh, my God, I don't want to get that late fee. I worry. And you finally get it paid off, and you don't have the late fee. It's like, oh, whew, good. Don't worry. You can worry again next month. But when you go on a trip and you change your mindset, you look at it and you go, yeah, it's not a big deal. And you're feeling great and you go, I'll have a Mai Tai. I'm good. Relaxed. And then you come back home from that trip and you're like, I relaxed. And you get to step right back into the same old problems. But what happened? You just went on a trip and your mindset shifted completely. It wasn't just because you went somewhere else. Your mind had to shift. Who did that? You. You did that. That's what's important. You can do that at home. You can do that wherever you are. And it takes some work. So let me give you some ideas. 1, let's say if you are going through a rough patch, something has happened, something, really rough. Maybe somebody broke up with you. Maybe a business deal went south. Maybe there's a health issue. I'm going to give you a reframe. Now, a reframe is simply another way to look at something. It's an NLP term, reframe. So you look at whatever problem is in front of you, and you look at it from different angles. And I'm going to give you a reframe. This reframe I got from Michael Uslan. He was giving a talk at a summit downtown where Kim was speaking, and listening to him was absolutely phenomenal. He basically the only reason we have Batman now was because of him. He got the rights to Batman before anybody else, back in the 70s, I think it was. And he said Batman is a deeper, darker character. And this satire, this crazy, 70s Burt Ward and oh my gosh, what's his name? Batman. Excuse me. The 70s Batman with the the Bat 2C and the dancing and all the goofiness, the stuff that I grew up with, actually. He said that was a caricature that is not what it was about. And so he got the rights to it. And he was the first person to teach comics as a social study. And it was very impressive. His talk, I can go on this for a while, but anyway, bottom line is he went through a lot of tough times. About 10 years, he got told no all the time. Nobody wanted to make Batman the way he wanted to make it. Nobody wanted to believe that Batman was a deeper character that could really resonate with other people. So he stuck to his guns. He said, no, I'm going to do this. I am going to make this work. I'm going to bring Batman to the screen. And he had a partner who was a producer. And they worked together and they said, okay, well, we're going to make this happen. 10 freaking years, guys, of getting told no. That's a lot. And he had offers. He could have sold out and said, okay, let's keep going with the goofy Batman. But he said no. And finally, somebody gave him a shot. But before they gave him a shot, and by the way, that shot was Michael Keaton's Batman. So that started it all. The hits he was taking were taking a toll on him. And his partner said this, and I want to leave you with this in your brain. He said, whatever bad thing is happening to you, look at that thing and say, this is the best thing that could happen to me in my life because, ... You come up with the because. Whatever it is. And I'll give you a prime example how this works. I was having a conversation with my wife, have a real estate situation that's going rough, very rough. It's been rough for a few years. But I see the silver lining. We can get past it soon. But we just got hit with another big bill, and I'm about ready to pull my hair out. See? Whoop. And we said, all right, let's use that term. This is the best thing that happened to me because. And I started thinking about it, started letting my subconscious mind get in there and say, all right, this is the best thing that could have happened to me. Why? And it was because, this is an opportunity for me to do leadership. This is an opportunity for me to do team building with my management company in another state. This is an opportunity to, instead of seeing it from a reactionary position, see it as an opportunity to go forward and, ask myself, why are they feeling this way? And see it from their viewpoint. Switch around. What's their viewpoint? What's this viewpoint? And now I see a different solution that came in from out of nowhere that I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's a solution. I'm going to actually give them more responsibility and more incentive to do their job better. And we're going to talk. So I don't come into the conversation from, well, you suck and blah, blah, blah. I say, okay, I'm going to take 100% ownership. Now, this is the next part I want to go to. This is a segue right into this. So looking at things that are happening from a different viewpoint, how is it the best thing that's happened to you? And then it's time to take ownership. You guys have heard me talk about this before. You're either at cause or you're at effect. If you're at cause, that means you're 100% in charge of everything that happens inside or outside of your life. At effect, you're 100% a victim, and you have no control whatsoever, completely powerless. Powerful, right, where are you? Let me go here. So, powerful, powerless. Okay. That's the concept. If you're at cause, no matter what happens in your life, if you say, I am in charge of it, it doesn't matter what it is. Lightning struck you, and you're like, wow, how did I do that? I shouldn't have been shuffling my fate. You know what I'm saying? That's how at cause you need to be. Why? Because that puts you in absolute 100% power. And again, go with the woo-woo, you are absolute power. You are a cosmic being, as one of my coaches puts it. You are an infinite being. We are all infinite beings because we are all made up of energy. We don't actually die. Quantum physics has proven that. Yada, 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 yada. Anyway, energy is energy. But you have immense amounts of energy, and we haven't even tapped into that. So if you look at something from a standpoint of, I am 100% at cause. Everything is my fault, is my decision. Everything that happens is me. If you look at it from that way, you go, okay, then guess what? The answer is also within me. So when I looked at this real estate problem, I said, okay, how am I being not up top tier? If they're letting me down, how am I letting them down? And so I turned it around. And I said, oh, okay, so maybe they need more incentive from this or that, and da-da-da. So we had a great conversation yesterday. We're going to have another conversation today. We're going to turn this whole thing around. And that's how you do it. That is how you do it. How is this the best thing that ever happened to me? How do I take 100% ownership of this thing, whatever it is? And I'm going to add another layer to this. Let's say things aren't going well in your life, and you're feeling more at effect and not cause. If you're feeling like you're a victim, that is obviously not a powerful place to be. There is a component, and it's not really a religious component. It can be a spiritual component. I don't care who you call it, God, the infinite intelligence, source, the one, midichlorians, the force, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter, but there is something bigger that connects us all. And I'm really going to go off on the midichlorians and the force thing one day. I'm going to have fun with that one. But you have to have faith. And for some, that's very difficult. For me, it was incredibly hard. And I'm still working on that. Because I guess I'd say I'm more spiritual and I'm Christianish. I'm not like Christian like, Protestants and Catholics. I'm like, they're both Christians, so why are you shooting each other? That sort of thing. I'm like, I'm outside of all that stuff. I'm just like, hey, power thing, I'm there. And I look at it from this standpoint. If you have your mindset in the right place, if you have your mindset on this is going to happen, aka the manifesting, you say this is going to happen, and whatever that is, you get your mindset right, and you believe that's going to happen. Well, there's a heart component that comes in, and you feel it in your heart. When you feel that in your heart, that's like, wow, I am emotionally tied, so my energy is tied to this outcome. I like that. And that is the feeling that it is already done. And it's in the Bible. It's so amazing. Science, the quantum physics, everything is really, really proving a lot of the things that are in the Bible. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is getting crazy. But it was, that I think, I'm not going to say it correctly, but ask and ye shall receive. I don't think that's accurate, because I think the actual quote is ask, comma, and believing that you receive, comma, you receive. Something like believing that you already have it, attain it, you receive. Something like that. Check it out. You guys who know the Bible better than me, you'll know that. But that aspect, it's the believing side. So like in a prayer, which is really manifesting, prayer is a request of the universe, and the universe wants to give you everything. It really is. It's such a great book. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind says, like, for money, it's like you're in a field of flowers. And, that's not the right one. It's a different book. Dollars flow to me easily. It's like you don't have to manifest flowers. You're standing in a field of flowers, surrounded by flowers. You don't have to think about flowers. You're surrounded by them. You just have to pick one. And it's the same thing with money. It's like you are surrounded by money, because money is just energy and vibration, et cetera, et cetera. It's everywhere. Some people have just scads of it. Some people don't have any. And a lot of that is a mindset issue. Not going to get into politics or poverty, et cetera, et cetera. But I do recommend some of the books, and I'm going to put together book recommendations, and I'm going to put together, I think, an Amazon page where you can go and you can just buy it, like for $1 or $2 or whatever. So, having the faith that you receive whatever it is you want, whatever you're asking for, there's the power. Because once you do that, you get that viewpoint and you manifest, you meditate on this thing that you want, whatever it is. And you focus and you get the feeling, you're going to feel this. You're going to feel a shift in your energy when you really clear your mind, focus on what you want, feel it in your heart, and believe it. And then at the end of whatever that is, sometimes we say, and so it is. Or you say, thank you. Thank you to the universe. Thank you, Father. Thank you to the force, whatever it is. You say thank you for it already being done. And the best metaphor for this that I've heard is look at a kid when you say, you want a pony? And the kid goes, yeah, I want a pony. Oh, okay. And dad says, mom says, we're going to buy you a pony. Boom! Kid goes nuts. Does he have the pony? No. But he knows he's going to have that pony. They've said he's going to get that pony. It is a promise. Same thing from the universe, from the energetic field, from the force, midichlorians, God, whatever it is. You have that ability. You have to get to that state where you're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this thing that I'm getting. Now, you can go back and talk about goals. I talk about goal setting in one of my earlier videos. That gets deeper into, what it is you want and how you want to get there. But I want to change your viewpoint on things a little bit by saying, first of all, remember, when you change the way you think about things, the way you think about the things you think about change. So what is your viewpoint? How are you looking at them? I use the Dead Poet Society GIF for my posts because, remember Dead Poet Society, Robin Williams says, you have to change your viewpoint. Everybody stand on your chairs. And they all stand up on their chairs. They're looking at things differently. See, now what do you see? You see things at a different angle. That's why in business we'll say, go to the 40,000 foot level. Really pull out. And we do this in NLP training and therapies as well. You pull out. Because when you really pull out and look down, if you think about it for a second, think about where you are. You're sitting in a chair, you're lying on a bed, you're doing whatever you're doing. Now, take your focus and shoot it 30 feet up above you and look down. Just do that for a second. Now, Go 100 feet up. Now go a mile up. Go up into the stratosphere. Go out into space to the moon and look down. What do you see? A little tiny dot. That's the Earth. How significant is that? If you zoom out even further, look at the universe. We're one universe in millions and millions and millions of infinite universes. If you think about it from that standpoint, it's like, wait a minute, what the hell are we doing here? Why are we worrying about all these little things? There is so much power out there. Look at it from a different viewpoint and understand everybody has their viewpoint. And in their viewpoint, they are correct. So instead of butting heads with somebody else over anything, just go, I wonder what their viewpoint is. I wonder how they see this situation. And if something bad is happening to you, remember what I said. This is the best thing that could possibly happen to me in life right now because, ... something along that line. Why is this the best thing that ever happened to me? Well, it's ... It's another great viewpoint. And remember, focus on what you want and be grateful, believing that you already have it. That's the faith aspect of it. All right. I have gone through a lot of viewpoints, a lot of reframes here. But no matter what happens, remember there's another viewpoint of it. You are in charge of your mind. This is what I was talking about with Viktor Frankl. When he was in the concentration camps, he says the one thing is they cannot take your mind. Your mind is incredibly powerful. So use it. You are the helm. You are the engineer. You're the captain of the ship. Your subconscious is the people in the back, way back in the back, or shoveling coal or working down in the submarine, and they never see you. You're giving all of these orders to your subconscious mind, and it's going, okay, let's get it done. And that's it. So you have to think what you're telling them because anything you tell it, good or bad, it's going to act on. With the reticular activating system, it's going to go out and find those things to prove that you are correct, for good or bad. So watch your viewpoint, regulate your viewpoint, and make it strong and positive for you. That's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I am always here to chat with you. You can find me at spikespencer.com. You can find me on Twitch at Spike Spencer Speaks. I'm on YouTube. I'm on the Instas, Facebook. I am out there. You can find me. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Adios. There you go, guys. That was my podcast. What you think, y'all? Always have good to negative people. I have nothing but trouble. That's true. Now, it's interesting, though. See, now, negative things will happen to positive people as well. I have a lot of negative things in my life that have been happening, and they are due to choices that I've made, and I own them. When I had my divorce and the bankruptcy and all that, one of the reasons why I was able to get out of it so fast and turn my life around, and I say fast, it wasn't that fast. I mean, I still have issues with certain aspects, but now it's like going in there, it's like, opening up a closet and go, I think there's a dust bunny over there behind those shoes in the corner, there's something, let's go get that, and boop, take it out. Great. That's kind of where it is. Now, when you really, really look at where you are, and you take that ownership, that being at cause. That's what I did in the divorce. And I said, okay, how did I cause this? And I went from that area, and I was dying inside. I mean, I was a shambles. I mean, I kid, and I've told people this before, and they know this. I've told this in front of thousands of people. It's like I held a snub-nosed 38 to my head, cocked, hollow points, and I was squeezing that trigger, and I was done. I was out, and something just said, stop. No, you've got more. You've got more. And so that's where I said, okay, how did I do this? How did I get to this? And I said, nope, that's not going to happen. Let's see. So it's always wanted to gain confidence because I've always been shy and timid. Realized over the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rely on nobody but yourself ever since. Pretty proud of that. Good for you, Spozikus. Now, the thing is, I'll get into relationships. When people say, I rely on nobody but myself, I'd like to give you a reframe on that a little bit. In that you don't have to rely on nobody but yourself. You have to be the best version of you from a strong standpoint, which brings in boundaries, expectation, etc. A lot of things like in my book, Food Game. And what you're going to be bringing into that is that the concept of relationships, a lot of people say, I've got to find my soulmate. I've got to find somebody who complete me. You complete me. You complete me. You complete me. No. That's completely false. You are already amazing, 100% super duper human being, and anybody that joins you is going to enhance the awesomeness. That's the viewpoint. So you work on who you are, because anything that anybody sees on the exterior begins on the interior. So who you are on the inside is going to radiate outward. That's the energy, that's the frequency and vibration that you're giving out. So if I was on this podcast and I was like going, yeah, people suck, man. Who wants to listen to that? That's not helpful. Well, I guess some people do want to listen to that because there's a lot of people that spout that kind of stuff and they're like, oh, they're very famous or whatever. Let's see, where's this going? Interesting. So when you work on yourself, you don't have to rely on anybody else. You're already great. So when I met Kim, I was in a good spot. I mean, I was actually a little bit fed up with dating and everything. I gave it up. And this is something that a lot of people do. They say, you know what? I gave it up to God. I said, Lord, I'm done. If I meet somebody, great. If I don't, great. I'm just going to go out. I'm going to have fun. And that's it. I'm not going to look anymore. Boom. Literally, like a couple days later. Hi, Kim. And she did exactly the same thing. So it's really, really interesting because that's also what happened right before I met my first wife. So when you think about it from that standpoint, you go, okay, it's out of my hands. We have no control over anything. Anything. You don't know what's going to happen next. You have no idea. So if you have no expectation, which is like the first chapter in my book, take away the expectation. It's a double-edged expectation, which is interesting. Because you say, take away the expectation like on a date. If I expect something to happen and it doesn't happen, I'm going to be upset. Well, that's not a good place to have a date now, is it? If you expect great things to happen, I have a wonderful human being here who has chosen to be at my place while I cook dinner, and we're going to have a great time, great conversation. If anything happens, awesome. If nothing happens, awesome. We've already won. That's a great place to come at a date from. Same thing with anything. Just say, hey, you know what? This is going to be the best it can be, and I'm going to be showing up as the best person I can be. That's my viewpoint. Therefore, if somebody comes in with negativity, and you've all felt this, somebody walks in a room, very negative, all the energy goes down. That's proof. If you want proof, somebody comes in the room and it's like, oh, wow, she's here. We're all happy now. So be that person. Be that person who brings good energy. Be that person who brings the power. Be that person who brings positivity and light. Because it's a whole lot better than bringing the crap, right? Right. Hey, Captain Nim, thank you so much. I'm glad you got the message here. And for those of you that have come in later, obviously this will be on Twitch for a little while, and it's going to be on my YouTube channel too. I take all of these, put them on YouTube, and I'm woefully inept at this point in time. I take full responsibility as far as editing and all that. So it just goes straight raw over, and I haven't done too much in the way of like editing things down to put highlights here or highlights there or do this and that, because I'm still working on getting my actual studio set up outside. And that's going to happen soon. I've got a studio area. Now we got to get the internet out there and all that. And I got the lights and all. It's going to be real cool. So working on being that person. Awesome. Depressing person brings mood down. Gotcha. That's right, Jimmy. Good deal. Yes, only you can change that. Now let me give you some books to read that'll really help you. Excuse me. So there's a book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's one of my favorites. It's just 4 things to help you. It's simple. It lays them out, and it's really powerful. Another one is, I would say Think and Grow Rich, but on the mindset side, I do like, everybody knows Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's classic. But I like The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It was written in like the 1800s. So you'll have some interesting references there. But the basis is undeniable. It's incredibly powerful, and I will, from time to time, I will get that book, and I will reread it and reread it and reread it, just to get my mind straight. There's a great one called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I'm still not done with that one. That was recommended to me by a podcaster. He's one of the best mindset NLP guys out there. His name is Jim Fortin, Fortin. I've been listening to his podcasts religiously, and I recommend that. You will be in charge of yourself very quickly. It is a day-to-day process. And one other thing, to get negativity out, stop listening to the radio, stop watching TV. If you want to watch TV, great. Watch Netflix, no commercials, no news, no commercials, none of that. It is nothing but negativity and putting you at effect. You are a victim of everything. So you don't want that. Get that out of your life. I stopped watching TV 2 years ago, maybe a little bit before that, because 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. I have not watched TV. I have no idea what's going on for the most part, and I don't care because good job, Jimmy. So, like, for example, there's Trump, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, look, I saw Trump live before because I do real estate. So when he was running, I was like, well, this is a hoot. And it was a hoot. It was really funny. I was like, that's just funny. What a great night that was. That was hysterical. Okay, great. Back to real life. And then suddenly, he's president. I'm like, what? Okay. Not political. But I was just like, I saw him live before, and I was like, I don't care what party you're in. What? Anyway, getting rid of TV. So I went back. My point is, I went back, I saw some news like a little while ago, and I was like, this is exactly the same news I saw during Clinton, during Bush, and during Obama. Same stuff. This side barking, and it's the same issues. Nothing has changed. So I was just like, wow, how great is it to not give your emotional time or energy to that sort of thing? That's you being at cause. You take your energy from that and you put it to you, to your betterment, to your life, and you refocus on you with positivity, and you will change. You'll change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. And that is what I'm going to leave you with today, guys, because that it is powerful, and I am working on that daily. This is a daily thing. It was either Zig Ziglar or Norman Vincent Peale said, in order to keep your mind clean and your mind working the way you need to work on it every day, you take a shower. You can't take a shower once a week and go, I'm fine. You need to take a shower every day, every other day, whatever, but you got to shower, right? You got to be clean. You got to continue to do that. It's the same thing. You have to eat so you can energize your body. You have to do it every day, right? Same thing with your mind feed. Wake up in the morning and feed your mind. Let's see. Teenager first couldn't afford to fix it. After a few months, realized didn't miss it. There you go. Blessing in disguise. Positive when you watch anime. Hey, Spuzzikus, which anime? That's the question. Hey, Jimmy, you pungent fella, you. I guess you're saving a lot of money on water. Which in California, they go, great, man. Cool. That's awesome. Because, drought and all of them. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Now, one thing I would ask for you guys to do, if you would, share my links. Share, let people know, hey, Spike has this podcast, and it's really positive, and it's really awesome. Share it with your friend. Share it on your socials, Twitter, Facebook, etc. You've got the link, Spike Spencer Speaks, twitch.tv/Spike Spencer Speaks, and let them know. And, come follow me, and let's continue the conversation. I've got the back issues are all on YouTube, so look me up on YouTube. And I've got lots of stuff on YouTube, guys. You like anime and stuff? Scroll back, because I've got me doing live things at anime cons from 14 years ago. It's ridiculous. I'm going to have to go in there and clean some of those up. But anyway, that's that. And if you would like, I would love to have you guys subscribe to me here. That would be helpful. And once I get some more buttons up, I'm going to have some merchandise, links to my books and some other things. I also do some coaching, and I want you guys to know this. So I have what is called, it's a 90-minute strategy session. It's called Make 2020 the Year You Love. And what I do, it's not particularly coaching, but again, it's a lot of reframing and a lot of focus and a lot of internal strategy. And I just had somebody that I worked with the other day in 90 minutes, and she was just blown away. She was like, holy wow, I've got so much to work on. I'm like, yes, you do. But that's how I work. I'm going to give you a ton of great stuff, and you're going to learn so much about yourself. So normally it's $149. I'm doing a $99 special for the new year. So if you know of anybody who wants to have great relationships, whether they're in a relationship right now or they want to date, guy, girl, doesn't really matter, let me know and send them to my website, spikespencer.com. I've got a link there. I think it's on the front page. And for you, if you're looking for the females, I've got a lot of, and males too, guys, on LinkedIn. I have a lot of links down in my profile to podcasts where I've appeared. And I've got lots of them, and many of them, most of them are actually women-centric. So a lot of women come to me and want to know, hey, what are guys thinking? I'm like, well, I can tell you. It's easy. But a lot of people don't understand it. Let's see. Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Spozigus, thank you so much. Voice Live was fun. Thanks, buddy. Have a blessed new year that ushers in the new decade. Thank you, Captain Nim. All right, everybody. It has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you Tuesday, 9 a.m., and we'll talk about something else. I don't know what yet, but we're going to have it nailed down, and it's going to be awesome. So go out there, have an extraordinary day. Bye-bye, everybody.